Hello, everyone. Jeff Gordon from Writers Bootcamp. This is our Creative Currency series. We're welcoming Jaclynn Brennan from Creative Duality and PlotONE, a very interesting businesswoman and a friend who's accomplishing great things. This is our 12th Creative Currency interview in just the past month or so, couple months. We're planning on 2 or 3 a week. Please subscribe on YouTube at The Writers Bootcamp. Please ping me at LinkedIn. Also, you can catch us on clips on Instagram at writers_boot_camp. And here's Jax.
How are you?
Your timing is impeccable.
Perfect. Right on time.
Thanks for doing this. This is Creative Currency number 12. So we're making progress. Here's what I need to ask you. What city are you in today? Who knows with you? The
I
world
am
is
in
your...
World is my oyster. I am currently in Bucyrus, Missouri, which is about an hour outside of Kansas City.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're not bi-coastal, you're intracoastal. Is there a body of water nearby?
Some lakes, but as you know, I kind of bounce around quite often.
Thank you for doing this. It's great to see you.
You too, Jen.
When what we're doing with Creative Currency is we're exploring realms and formats of how the traditional entertainment industry is evolving, but also how other branding and business opportunities and digital, outcroppings are affecting our lives. And I'm wondering, you're so accomplished and your disposition is more than pragmatic. There's a level of inspiration in terms of how you approach things, which is why people hire you, because you're not ordinary. But what did you study in school, and where did you develop your business acumen?
So I went to the Fashion Institute of Technology for fashion marketing, started there, and then received my Bachelor's of Science degree from the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale. So I studied digital
Brilliant.
design and fashion marketing. That was my background. But early on in my career, I did about 5 internships. So the best experience that I've received, like educational wise, was on the ground, actually doing the work and doing these internships, which taught me everything about accountability and leadership and showing up every day and getting thrown into the fire and having to figure it out real time. That's where I received my education on
What
the ground.
was the first internship, and were you different when you landed there?
Yeah, so my very first internship, I was in high school and it was for Power 105, which is a hip hop music station in the city. My mom worked for Clear Channel, so she helped me get the internship, and I was interning in sales. So helping to do ad sales for Clear Channel Communications, and I worked the front desk reception. I got to greet all these awesome rappers as they were coming in studio. And it was so cool for me because I was kind of
Where was that,
thrown
in Manhattan?
in Manhattan. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was such a cool internship because it showed me so many sides to the entertainment and radio business at the time, and just taught me how to be professional, like have to show up every day, how to greet people, how to answer a phone, make a calendar invite, all the things we take for granted, assuming everybody knows how to do. So
Right,
as
even though we invited you, you sent me the invite, which is classic. We are technically, Writers Boot Camp is technically a corporation, but at the same time, we don't act in a very corporate manner. Um, I've always appreciated FIT, fit, and FITM, but I didn't realize out loud until now, Fashion Institute of Technology. So can you differentiate that for us?
Yeah. Well, I went to school, oh gosh, almost a decade ago. So it's changed so much. But when I was, in school, it was really the crux of digital design. So when Adobe came out, Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign, AutoCAD, it opened up my eyes to seeing technology in a new light. Because I wasn't a traditional designer. I didn't have the ability to freehand sketch and drape like a lot of these people did, but I was a computer wizard. So I can design anything using my computer and bring it from a thought to execution and then generate an AutoCAD, like an actual 3D rendering of a garment or a piece of jewelry that would go straight to the factory for production. So when we say technology, I think it taught me early on how tech can be used in a creative field. And now it's only gotten more advanced, obviously, with AI.
So,
But
so you learned and you could visualize workflow, design through manufacturing, decision making at intervals. Because one of the cliches when we see a piece, a video piece or a story on a fashion designer or a factory, we see the patterns and the pattern making. Then I've always been fascinated by, well, how do you choose the number of sizes and in a campaign, how you extend that idea. So you come from that background.
I do. I do.
And what was the inspiration for Creative Duality? And then we'll get to PlotONE, which is a new platform for measuring results. And but I remember when we first met, which wasn't that long ago. It seems like you evolve at a breakneck pace. You're molting many skins as you keep evolving and growing. But initially, when we met, you had in a sense, an agency. And while you are a consultant, are you technically, through Creative Duality, still an agency?
Yeah. So Creative Duality, I launched 15 years ago. And we originally started out as a marketing and branding agency, which we still continue to do that work. But since then, over the past, let's say 7 years, we've really evolved into an experiential agency. And when we break that down, what do? We build community through in person events and activations, and we do innovative in person event campaign work for brands. Anything we do within Creative Duality, it is built on the crux of building community. And Creative Duality, it was named because of left brain, right brain thinking. Oftentimes, when you think of a creative, you think, okay, they're so creative, but they have no business sense, no strategy.
Right.
And my approach to business has always been you have to have the left brain, but you have to have the right brain. And I appreciate your kind words at the beginning of, your question, because I've always thought of myself as an entrepreneur that doesn't fit into one box or mold. And growing up, I was taught you're supposed to focus on one skill and do it really well. But what I found throughout my career is that your range is what makes you irreplaceable. It's what makes you special. The fact that I can do 12 different things and I have skills and talent in all of those things, it gives me my range. So that's where creative duality
When
comes
you
into play.
when you have discussed your services with a potential client, are you also making the decision easier for them because they can let go of budgets because you're able to do what they might have to pay multiple practitioners to do?
Yeah, that's a great question. So when I'm having an early conversation with a client, a discovery call, if you will, I always talk to them, what is the end game goal? What do you hope to achieve? And what is your timeline? And then from there, because we offer such a wide range of creative services in house and with our partnership network, 9 times out of 10, we're often able to execute something at a much higher level and much faster than hiring 5 different outside consultants or agencies. So we can primarily do everything under one roof and
Is
umbrella.
there a decision that they often make about, do I keep my staff member or do I hire Jax and her team?
So we've done both ways. What I'll say is I always love to empower my clients to work with us to build strategy and lay the foundation, kind of like you're building a house, and to empower them and encourage their teams and teach their teams to have the skills to keep our work ongoing so that the goal is always eventually they can take it in-house with their team and their staff. We
Okay.
serve as interim, marketing agency. I serve as interim CMO for several of my clients, but the goal is always to make sure that it's sustainable and they can
To
bring it to
build
their.
something. So, for example, with YouTube and your 50 state activation, how is that something that they're able to repeat in the future? And do they still want to do that?
Yeah, so YouTube has an incredible team, creator marketing team, and my agency was hired to be an extension of that team, an agency support for YouTube Creator Collective. And we've worked with them for the past 4 years. And since then, we have also helped, I believe, empower them to do more stuff internally because we've created different systems and process flows that can be repeatable. So we're still involved in working with YouTube as one of their top agencies for Creator Collective program, but they are empowered to do much more work internally as well.
Without giving away trade secrets or craft, is there an example of something that's a system or a procedure that they can do that's been built internally or with any client?
Yeah.
Is it the way they keep lists? Is it the way they enter attendance into a database? Is it that sort of thing?
Yeah. So we say it's an entire process flow. When we're doing an experiential activation, we have certain markers that we use for production that we are able to templatize so that clients moving forward have this template and they can easily fill in everything from, floor plans and placements of vendors to security plans to menu and F&B designs. I mean, there's a whole system of templates that we're able to help automate for clients,
Food and beverage, F&B.
F&B.
Okay.
So yeah, we definitely templatize workflows for events, and then we do the same for social media and social strategy for many of our clients.
So people actually want to do things IRL?
They do. And can I tell you, Jeff, IRL is becoming the most important part of a 360 marketing plan currently for any brand or business. Social media and digital marketing is used as a discovery engine and helps fuel sales. But IRL, bringing people together in person, builds brand fanatics and loyal customers. So it is extremely important.
What's the distinction between a fan and a fanatic?
Yeah. So a fan is someone that, follows along and potentially pops in and out and makes a sale every now and again. A fanatic is a brand ambassador. It is someone that is along for the ride with you and the brand that will advocate for the brand, stand by the brand, and they're excited and passionate about talking about the brand and representing it. Even if they're not getting paid, they just love it so much. They're a fanatic.
So, and is that also what's meant by
Yeah.
creator-led marketing?
Yeah. So creator led marketing. I like to, I'm glad you said creator led because I believe there's a difference between
Between an
influencers
influencer and
and creators. I always say that to drive it home. Influencers sell shit. Creators make impact. So when we say creator led marketing, we're talking about people that are real and authentic ambassadors for your brand that help storytell and build marketing efforts in an organic way through UGC content, user generated content. And it is such a crucial part of every business right now is focusing on this creator led marketing strategy. It's more important than your ad spend or any paid advertising at this moment in time.
Right. So, for example, if we do creative currency interviews or long form interviews with our alumni who have succeeded, that's still different as an index or as an archive than if they're contributing somehow to an aspect of our website or chiming in on Instagram. So,
Absolutely.
so what are budgets like? And well, let me ask a different question first, and then we'll eventually segue to PlotONE. What's the level of desperation when brands find you?
So I have brands that are extremely established Fortune 500 companies that come to us and say, we have no idea how to run our creator marketing. We've paid agencies hundreds of thousands of dollars with zero results. So they come to us, we call it a fire drill, where there's basically no time and they're launching something. And we have to come in and clean up, clean house, and create a strategy very quickly. And then we have startups that come to us with such thoughtful go to market plans and thoughtful ways they want to engage creators. And we can leverage all of that internal strategy to roll out. So we've had both sides of the spectrum. The funny part is the more established businesses are usually the ones that need the most help because there's so many cooks in the kitchen and they're used to corporate traditional marketing, which no longer works in
And
today's world.
layers of bureaucracy potentially.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, listen, we advertised in Hollywood Reporter and Daily Variety and Village Voice and other, local weeklies in Chicago and San Francisco back in the day. And since 1998, there's been no print advertising that's pulled. I wish I had the ability to do some traditional marketing. And so when a business becomes almost entirely based on word of mouth, the question is, can it scale anymore? So give me an example of seeking talent, recruiting talent for a brand, and what are you usually empowered with, and what are the decisions made? Is it in advance and they trust you and they say, let's find 20 creators?
Yeah. So we have to work with clients that trust us and our network and our expertise. If we feel like we're being micromanaged or we feel like the brand isn't trusting our strategy, then 9 times out of 10, it's not a client I want to work with. So for us, the most important thing is understanding who the brand is and their consumer segments. Once we truly know what are the goals, who are they, we can better determine a plan for who are the right creators or talent or tastemakers that are going to fit their profile once we know the goals. I'm going to give you a quick example. One of the brands that we're currently working with, that I'm working with in a big way, is a functional beverage brand called Vitapop that's launching in September. We understand the customer segment of this brand very well, but we also know their number one revenue stream is TikTok shop. So we have to make sure that all of the creators and talent we are bringing to the table are very active on TikTok because the goal is to drive D2C sales. So we always have to align the strategy and the goal with the right creators. Because we have such a deep creator network, we oftentimes get to bypass managers or big agencies to negotiate. We go straight to the creator, straight to the source, and strike deals, which make us faster, more efficient than many other agencies.
And maybe even a better deal, better
Yeah. Nine
rate of
times out of 10, better rate, straight to the
right.
source.
What's D to D again?
D2C, direct to consumer.
D to C. Okay, I heard it differently. And what is the climate as far as creators earning? How
Yeah.
is TikTok changing? How is rev share going on YouTube? And I just want to mention just one, viral series, which I think is brilliant. But what's your overview right
Yeah.
now on are because I've heard some creators start to complain that their earnings are waning.
Yeah. So I always advise creators, they have to be on multiple platforms to generate true seven-figure revenue. You can't depend on just one platform, right? So when we look at the platform that is paying out creators the most, it's YouTube. They have a wonderful paid partner program. It takes longer to build and to get into that program, but they creators are earning the most currently at this point through YouTube. TikTok recently launched TikTok Go, which is an affiliate program linked to TikTok Shop. So we are seeing this wonderful resurgence of TikTok and creators really earning on that platform and moving volume. Instagram shopping, I think Meta still has a little bit of a ways to go. But they are also competitive in, different payout programs. But right now, YouTube is currently the highest paid platform for creators. And just so you know, the creator industry as a whole, the creator economy is going to get up to 500 billion in sales by 2027. So it is increasing, it is growing on a massive global scale when we're looking at it as a whole.
And what percentage of creators are also entrepreneurs in that they're doing product placement or they have their own products? Just as a general guideline, because creators based on views are sharing revenue, but that's different from sales.
Yeah. So I like to say every true creator is an entrepreneur. They're essentially running a business. They are making their money on brand deals and partnerships and affiliate income. So they're all entrepreneurs. What we're seeing right now, we're seeing creators, like you mentioned, start to launch their own products because they're earning so well for other brands. Many of them are saying, well, if I'm doing this amount of sales for this lipstick brand, I should have my own lipstick brand. So we're starting to see that now as a trend. We're also seeing many big brands give creators equity to come on as a chief creator officer.
Mm-hmm.
Brands are starting to see how important they are for their marketing strategy, where they're actually offering and incentivizing them with equity rather than just paid dollars. So that's a big trend we're seeing today.
And what's the best way to access the volume of business that creators are doing?
Yeah, so there is a platform, shout out to Cherub, female run and led, Jaclyn Johnson and Angeline Vaughn, that is an investment platform where brands can sign up and register their company if they're interested in connecting with creators for brand deals and equity. Creators can come join this platform and get to determine if they are interested in a brand. And basically, Cherub match makes them with a particular brand for equity incentive.
And then participates in the deal, but they're not taking like a management fee.
They do take a small fee and they
So,
work on
so
that matchmaking component for the brand.
like a brokering fee,
Yes,
right?
correct.
And okay, and so and you've become not only expert in activations of many kinds, but also in the hospitality business, and many of your clients are venues and hotel brands, correct?
Correct.
And so how did PlotONE evolve from your technological background?
Yeah, absolutely. So, about 2 years ago, we started working with hotel brands to help lead creator marketing strategies. Brands were giving influencers free weekend stays. The influencer would come, they'd stay for free, they'd take a few pictures, they'd throw up a link, and that was it. There's no accountability, no tracking, no thought, no creative brief behind them getting a free stay. So we recognized this and we started doing destination travel cohort trips where we'd bring in a group of creators. We'd make a full storyline, like a Netflix narrative, and send them on site. We would do a full
Like Love
production.
Island?
Yeah, kind of like Love Island for creators, less drama. And we'd pick all different types of creators that would help tell a story and sell the property in a unique, authentic way. And as we were doing that, Jeff, my team for 24 hours was literally manually tracking every Instagram story, every TikTok. It's so much work. And I'm like, there's got to be a better way. So I started looking at potential licensing for softwares, and I could not find anything that did exactly what we needed. So we built it. PlotONE is a data analytics tracking platform for creator campaigns. So we can actually measure the success of a creator stay at a hotel, at a restaurant, a creator visit, at a spa, at a sporting event, a concert, or now brand campaign, where we can track every detail.
So the halcyon days are over because the
Yes.
creators are accountable now.
The creators are accountable, but more importantly, we are empowering creators to charge what they're worth because they can prove it.
Great.
They can say,
Great.
listen, I might only have 20,000 followers, but my conversion is over 50%. And let me show you the sales I have generated. Let me show you the earned media
That's
value.
a great reply, by the
It's
way.
true.
Well, if you can benefit from the client's side and the talent side,
Yes.
right?
So we have two customers for PlotONE, agencies and brands and creators themselves. We have pro creator accounts where we give them every piece of data, media kit, full website, so then they can pitch other brands and show their worth.
And this is beyond their own TikTok shop analytics that they, or Google Analytics, or it's an integration of all of that.
It is a centralized integrative dashboard for every social media platform they are currently on.
So recently I had seen an Instagram where one creator was discussing how it can be so debilitating personally and creatively to have to be checking on the response that you're getting from any one post. And of course, Shira Lazar, a good friend, has, her initiative Creators for Mental Health, which we're supportive
I
of.
love her.
Shira's great. And she actually was Creative Currency #1, by the way. Yeah.
Wow.
So the intensity of evaluation and self-evaluation, which can be both motivating but also a grind, is something, but just, I guess what I'm getting at is give us an overview of just a few of the stats that you think are pertinent to a creator's weekly or monthly process. And if you were to break down how somebody's doing and how they're evolving, because there are also a lot of services available on Instagram for, so you're stacking up episodes, but you're not, getting, you're not closing deals, right?
Yeah.
Or you're not earning revenue. So what are just, if you were to say to somebody starting out who has an idea for content, and I'm starting to become a fan of certain creators. For example, I love Brooklyn Coffee Shop. And as a production strategy, it's genius. And as a way of collaborating, if you want to call it that, versus co-opting, the fact that the guest stars also have their own audiences, so then that ensures a certain number of views and a cascade of sharing. What would you say to a young cousin or a niece or a nephew who's starting out, what 3 or 4 data points they should be focused on or not focused on?
Yeah. So they should not be focused on the follower count or the number of subscribers. They should be focused on their engagement. Engagement is everything. How many people are engaging with your post, sharing it, commenting on it? That is the most important thing. You can have millions and millions of followers, but if your engagement isn't there, at least a 3% engagement rate, then that proves that most of your stuff is fake. Then you bought followers, you did something shady. Like engagement is everything. So that's
and is that based on authenticity of brand or just entertainment, sheer entertainment value?
That's like just sheer the creators themselves. That's how you can tell if somebody's real or fake.
Okay.
There's so many ways to purchase followers or likes, but if your
Oh, okay.
engagement isn't high enough to support that, you can spot that right away.
Is that, does that factor in duration of
It does. It
viewing
factors in.
time?
It does. It factors in viewing time, but again, you can have viewing time, but without engagement, it doesn't mean anything. So you want to look at engagement rate. You want to look at shares. How many people are sharing out your content? That means it's going viral. You want to pay attention to, you know, hashtags and discovery. If you're going on discovery pages, that also means your post is going viral. And then just my number one piece of advice for creators who are getting started today on any platform is stop overthinking every post and trying to be a perfectionist. The best content is real and authentic and in the moment. And right now it's about volume. How, if you are just doing volume on TikTok and YouTube shorts, you're going to grow. You're going to start building an audience. Have a voice, have a perspective, but let go of perfectionism and just get started. That's my biggest piece of
Great,
advice.
great, great. What's the discovery page exactly?
Like for example, Instagram or TikTok, if you are going viral, you wind up on a discovery page.
That just happens through their
That happens through.
what the platform's capturing and and gathering.
Exactly. So if you're using hashtags on your content and, I'm like Kansas City weekend and whatever content is being generated in that area, if it starts going viral, if anybody searches Kansas City, you're going to see it on Discovery.
So are hashtags to be trifled with or to be dismissed, or is there an art and a craft to how many hashtags you do on any one clip?
There's an art and a craft. So you want to look at hashtags as your like CEO engine. And for us, especially on PlotONE,
SEO or CEO?
SEO.
SEO, okay.
SEO. It's your SEO engine. And then for PlotONE, I was just going to say hashtags are mandatory because that is how we are able to source and track the content from each platform. That is how our software goes in and pulls it.
Got it. Awesome.
Yeah.
And how does somebody subscribe or find PlotONE, or is there a support line or
Yeah.
questions, or how do you prefer people to contact you?
So PlotONE.app is how you can learn about the platform and get on board today. It's free for creators. You can also email me, Jaclynn, Jaclynn at plotone.com. Follow me on Instagram, Jaclynn Brennan. I always love to connect with people.
And your, classic nickname is Jax.
Yes.
So
Nickname
how
Jack.
come that's not in any of your email addresses?
It is. It's in my Instagram. You'll see Jax there.
And when you spell that, is it all caps or is it just JAX?
It's just JAX.
These are just some of the things that come up when I think about my friends. Is there
will.
any? One other thing. You have a philanthropic platform as well called Ayana. Do you want to just describe what that is? And because it's probably over 70% of our success stories are by women. Oh, I think you're somehow muted for a second.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
I was just going to say, Jeff, I always consider you a man ambassador. And I always say, smart men support strong women. So yes, Ayana is a 501c3 foundation that supports first-time women entrepreneurs building venture scalable businesses through access to funding, education, and community.
And what's the best way for people to get a hold of that or to
Yeah.
evaluate that?
Ayana.org.
Great.
Ayana.org.
Anything else that you think in this climate is important for, you know, entrepreneurs or creators to know about, or things you're thinking about that you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, the number one topic of conversation right now is how AI is becoming or playing such a big role in the creative world, especially as it relates to creators and making content and them feeling like they're going to be replaced or their likeliness is being used in an AI version. And I would just say, look at AI as a tool, as an extension of your team, as a way to create efficiencies. But AI is nothing without a prompt. And you need your brain and your creativity and your energy in order to generate a prompt. So work with it. Don't be afraid of it. Because at the end of the day, your creativity and your uniqueness and your sparkle and shine can never be replicated. So I'll leave you with that.
That's awesome. Thanks, Jaclyn. We appreciate you. I'll see you soon.
Thank you so much for having me on Creative Currency.